Hello and welcome to Running Behind. I'm Joey Metzger, your host and head chef in the kitchen of slow running. My guest today is Heather Vinge Hanson. She's a trail runner, and in 2025, Heather ran several marathon or longer distances, including her first 50K race. She does all that while dealing with a multitude of chronic conditions and syndromes, everything from gastrointestinal disorders to Ehlers-Danlos, chronic fatigue, and fibromyalgia. And that is after battling an eating disorder for many years. This is someone who's been in the fire, folks, and she is not just surviving, but flourishing through it. It makes total sense that Terra Loco, the great footwear and sporting store in Rochester, Minnesota, began sponsoring her as an athlete last year. In this conversation, we talk about her overcoming her conditions to achieve her goals. And stay tuned after the episode for another edition of Running Out Loud, where I feature another Joe Harden piece called The Miles Provide. So strap in and lace up for a nice long run today, and don't forget your power object, be it guitar or vest. Let's get going. It's time to hit the trail.
Oh, you have bourbon or whiskey going there?
I do, and I'm always like a little shy about it because I have a lot of guests that don't drink anymore, and I'm like, that's totally cool. Sometimes I like to have just a little sip of bourbon after supper, so I have one.
Yeah.
I interviewed, I know you know Jameson Swift, and the whole interview, he had a little drink and I had a little drink. We never really talked about it, but I saw he had this wonderful looking little lowball glass of something that looked scrumptious. I know you know him and Lisa very well, probably, don't you?
I know them.
Okay.
Probably Lisa a little bit more, just from with the documentary and everything.
Right.
And then just following each other on Instagram.
Yeah. I always see her commenting on your stuff, and I met her briefly when I did Fire Tower back in 23. And then Jameson and I talked about it. And then when I posted some of his stuff on Instagram, she reached out and followed me and follows me on Strava. And I'm like, I want to get a drink with those guys. I want to hang out with them more. Jameson and I really clicked. And did you listen to that one yet? Or I don't know if you've listened to any of the episodes, but
I have. That one was next. I looked at it today and I was like,
great.
Yes.
Yep. So I've interviewed a lot of your friends, a lot of your folks down there that you know. I've interviewed Tiffany. That was fun. I'm getting way ahead of my audience. Like I always say in the theater, we just start these things mid-scene. You never start with start. You just start mid-scene and you start going. This is going to be a casual conversation. My guest today is Heather Vinge Hanson. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Very good. Vinge, what heritage is that?
It's Norwegian.
Norwegian, sure, okay.
Yeah, but it's actually, my family pronounces it incorrectly. So I met someone from Norway, and I was so excited. I was like, my grandparents were first-generation immigrants. Like, this is awesome.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm Heather Vinge. And he's like, what? That's not Norwegian. Oh. So I was like, yes, it is. So technically, it's supposed to be Vinge, and it's supposed to be Vinge.
Vinge. Oh my gosh. Wonderful. I had Tiffany on, and her last name, which is, I assume is her husband's last name. I looked at it and I'm like, I have a friend who's Polish. I think that's Polish. And I'm like, we started our interview with, I'm like, is the real pronunciation Piotrowicz? And she's like, it is, but we don't say that.
Right.
Like, okay, so what do you say? So I've had Tiffany on. I've had Jameson on. I've had Bill and Mandy Hansel on. I've had Jason Reeve on. I guess I need to get John on here, get the whole crew from Resolution Night. So for my audience, my guest tonight, Heather is a Minnesota trail runner. We're going to find out all about her trail running, her running, some things she deals with that I think we'll get into, which will be very interesting, very inspiring. And then I met Heather at Resolution Night at Terra Loco back in January. I know my audience heard me talk all about that. And Heather was one of the speakers that night. So that's how we met. Well, we actually met on Strava. I think.
I think so, yeah.
I think we did races together like we both did last year. Eric and I did the Afton 25K, and I think you did it. I'm sure you finished way before we did. I was very slow that day.
Oh, that was a tough one.
It was a tough one. It was so hot and muggy. Okay, we'll get into it. I got to start this. So if you've listened to a couple episodes, you know how I start these. I like to start with asking my guests as an icebreaker to get to know you. Give me one word only, Heather, that describes you as a person.
Multifaceted.
Okay. Nice. Now give me one word that describes you as Heather the runner.
One word. I have a phrase, but let me think of a word.
I will allow a phrase. As long as it's not like a paragraph long, I will allow a phrrise.
Just doing my best.
Just doing my best.
Just doing my best.
I like it. I looked at, you're a back of the packer, kind of like me, right? You would consider yourself a back of the packer, mid packer, somewhere in there?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, let's go all the way back in the time machine, back to Heather in grade school. Where did you grow up here in Minnesota, or where did you grow up?
I did. I grew up in Hastings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
and were you in sports? Were you doing soccer as a little Heather? Were you running around, swimming, soccer? What were you doing?
I played soccer most of elementary age school. And I did softball a little bit, but I always got heat stroke. And then my other sport I played a lot, not on a team, was football. I loved playing football. So I played at recess and I played with my neighborhood friends. So that was my big thing. And then I also was in competitive dance.
And I remember you did talk about dance at Resolution Night a little bit. How long did you do the dance? Did you do that? I forget. Was that through high school and into your post-high school days, or was it just in elementary school?
It was up until 8th grade. And then I started color guard with the marching band. So super cool. So that took up the dancing kind of part of my life.
Right. I was a nerd. I was in band, chess club, physics team, all that kind of fun stuff. No sports for me. So you were very athletic. And then running came into your life at an early age, and then it kind of came back. Do you want to take us through that journey, like how you first explored running and then how you came back to it?
Sure.
I know we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, when I was little, my dad was a runner, so I grew up watching him run, and I would, go for little runs with him and all of that. So that kind of started it. And then in elementary school, they started a running club. So kind of like Girls on the Run, but it wasn't specific gender focus. It was just, I think, my gym teacher started it. So we would go to school early and run in the morning. I know, as an elementary age student, so weird. So that made me kind of like it. And then I didn't do it for quite some time. And then in high school, the summer before 9th grade, I started running. And it really was only a tool for weight loss. Because at that point, after about 4th or 5th grade, and even younger, I was a very solid child, is what I was called, and became clinically obese, probably in like middle school. And so I, dealt with getting made fun of and all of that. And so I was like, I don't know what to do to lose weight, because I was already active. Like I was like doing sports and whatever. So I started running every single day after school, rain or shine, didn't matter. I lived in a trailer court, so I would just run around the trailer court. I wouldn't, it started out okay, and then it became like an obsession and really
Sure.
morphed into an eating disorder within a couple
Oh
months,
no. Okay.
that I dealt with until I got treatment at age 30. So
Wow.
it, there's a lot of things that happened in between there. Um,
Yeah.
but so then all through high school, I just continued running on my own. I never did track or cross
Okay.
country. I had a lot of friends that did, but it didn't, I don't know why it didn't appeal to me. I probably would have loved cross country, knowing how I am now with trail running.
Yeah.
And then in college, I started cross country. So I ran Division 3 cross country my freshman year and then my sophomore year. And then I transferred from a Division 3 school to a Division 1. And at that point, I probably could have walked on a Division 1,
Yeah.
like if my time was okay. If you can
Okay.
believe it, I was actually not back of the pack then. And I didn't want to be an athlete student. I was going to school to go to
Sure.
school.
Right.
So, and that was at the University of Minnesota. And I had
Okay.
friends that ran there, and I saw the life they had, and I was like, that's just not my jam. So,
Yeah.
so then, I stopped. Then I didn't really run. I was dealing with health issues at the end of college.
Okay.
And then I got married. We had Jasper. Then I started to run again. Because again, I was still in my eating disorder. So I was still like, I need to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I
Right.
would gain, I would lose, I would gain. Um, and I did a few trail races. I did Afton, actually. That was, I think, the first trail race I ever did.
So
And
what? And I downloaded all of your stuff from Ultra Sign Up, so I've seen a little bit of this. What year is that you did Afton? That's back. Oh my gosh, back in 2009.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Was that one of the original ones? I don't know when he started that, but
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. So
Um,
what made you get on the trails? Did you have friends that were doing trail running on the trails? Because I always ask my guests, like, we end up on the trails and we love it,
yeah.
and a lot of us love it more than running marathons and on the roads. What made you get on a trail and find the Afton Trail Run to do that?
I don't remember how I found out about that run. Besides being from Hastings, so it's not far away.
Sure. Right.
Afton, we would go there to hike and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that one, and but when I started running again, which a lot of years happened, and then in
Yep.
2021, I actually did a half marathon training group with Terra Loco, our local running store here in town in Rochester. And it was for a road half marathon, but I was like, this is
Yeah.
going to get me back in. There'll be kind of a coach. And about halfway through, they took us out for a change of scenery to run at Oxbow, which is a regional
Oh
county
yeah.
park here. And
It's
I,
Jason Reeves' personal running track.
yes, yep,
He runs there
I'm a
every
close
day.
second.
You're a close second.
It's the best. It's so
It
great.
is.
Um, and so we went, and I just remember like partway through going, this is where I meant to be. Like,
Yeah.
I love the woods. It was a little woo woo. It was almost like my soul felt relaxed there more than it had
Yeah.
anywhere else. And so I was like, I'm going to continue this. I'm going to do my road half marathon. And then from then on, it was trails.
Yeah.
And I haven't stopped. And I mean, I can go run on the trail and not have injuries. And I run 4 miles on the road, and I feel like I just
Yep.
ran 50.
Yep. So, I mean, just looking at your ultra sign up tells a story. All of our ultra sign ups, even if they only have a few things on, I always think they tell a story. You have that first race, 2009. And of course, this is just the trail runs. Ultra sign up does not have all of your road marathons and stuff. But then the next race is 12 years later.
Mm-hmm.
2021 Surf the Murph 25K. You gotta love that. I did it the next year. Heather, that was my first real trail run.
Okay.
And like you, I was like, I mean, just watching videos, like Jason and I have talked about this many times. We both loved trail running from watching videos on iFit of people, running on the trails, Tommy
Yeah.
Rebs and, Sally McRae and all these folks.
Mm-hmm.
So Surf the Murph, yeah, I did too. I did that race and I was like, this is it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's hard, but it
Yeah.
allows me to go slow and not feel bad. It
Yep.
allows me to be outside in these beautiful areas. And, Murphy Hanrahan Park is beautiful. I've never been to
Mm-hmm.
Oxbow, but I hear, all these areas are just great. Tell me a little bit, though, about that time period from 2009 to 2021 when you do the half marathon around that time. What happens in between that time, and what gets you to start running again after doing the Afton one in 2009? What
Mm-hmm.
brought you back?
Well, in between those 12 years,
Yeah.
I faced a lot of health challenges. And so I ran a road marathon in 2010 in Florida. And it was the Run for Donna. It was a breast cancer awareness run, and we ran it in honor of my great aunt. So we had a lot of family members down there. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But when I got back, I was injured and I didn't train well, number one. But I had a lot of ankle issues, and
Okay.
I never had this happen. I had been my entire running career, I was injured. There was never a time where I wasn't injured, and we'll find out later what that was. Um,
Okay.
but so I was like, I'm so used to being injured. This is different. This is not how I normally feel in pain. So
Yeah.
I went to see a specialist, and they were like, Heather, you just like wrecked your ankle. Like, they're like, I don't even know how you did that. It is so smashed. And I was like, what? And they're like, it's like someone was just compressed it down and just smashed
A
everything.
stress fracture or what?
No, he said I didn't have any fractures. It was all my
What?
tendons and ligaments were just like
All the
all
soft
messed
tissue.
up.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
And
All right.
so I had to have inserts and, rest and physical therapy. So I had to take a little bit off. But then I started again just to kind of like lightly run. I was biking a little bit. But I started to get like general overall joint pain, and it was very odd. Because it wasn't necessarily joints that I used. It was a lot, like it wasn't knees or ankles. It was like my hands, my elbow, and it was just a very different sensation. And I didn't really understand. I remember talking to a friend saying, does it hurt when you just like touch your arm? Like, does your arm hurt? And
Yeah.
they were like, Heather, no, that's not normal. And I was like, oh, well, mine has for the last year. So I don't know why I put
Wow.
up with things. So I went and got so many tests. I mean, I've
Yeah.
had every MRI, every CT, saw a bunch of pain specialists, did biofeedback, and what the joint side of it and pain, they said that I had Ehlers-Danlos hypermobile syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder. And so basically, all of your connective tissue in your body, which is all over. It's not just your tendons and ligaments, it's your digestive system. It can affect your heart. I'm very lucky that I don't have the cardiac version, because that's really
Wow.
dangerous. But everything's affected. And the doctor, he held my head, and then he said, okay, relax your entire body. I have you. You don't need to worry about it. And so I relaxed, and he goes, no, relax your body. And so I did, and I just let everything fall, and he let go of my head, and I fell over because my joints couldn't hold me up. My
Oh my
muscles were doing
God.
all the work.
They were
And
constantly in distress and tense, and
yeah,
that's how they were holding you up. Wow.
yeah. So I found out about that and learned how to deal with that. I had to do a lot of strength training because my muscles are doing what my joints can't do. So that was a learning. So that happened. But I still was having extreme fatigue. I had intense digestive issues. Again, I got every test under the sun at both Johns Hopkins and then at Mayo Clinic. And they, determined basically my connective tissue and my digestive system doesn't work appropriately, like fast enough. So my stomach doesn't empty fast enough. My colon doesn't work appropriately. They were about to give me an ostomy and like take part of my colon out. And so it was like my body was just in constant like inflammation and pain. And then I got diagnosed with gastroparesis, which is the stomach issue, colonic inertia, which is slow colon. And then I also got diagnosed with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I had all this which explains everything that happened in my past. Because when I was running cross country, after every single race, the athletic therapist or the sports therapist we had ice bags ready for me because she knew my knees and my Achilles tendons were going to hurt. Like it was just no matter how well I trained. Wow. And I didn't know then about strength training. So I had severe growing pains growing up, like, which is part of that as well. I grew really tall, really fast. And then my tendons didn't like that, and ligaments. So everything started to make sense. Okay, this is the origin of everything. So I had to learn to deal with that. I had to learn how to eat appropriately, how to just manage my energy levels. So I took classes. Mayo Clinic has a really great fibromyalgia clinic, and you do a 2-day intensive, and they really teach you about living with chronic illnesses, and they teach you how fibromyalgia works in the brain and how it's so much a nerve issue more than anything else, which causes you to feel pain and causes the fatigue. And there was also a kind of around that same time, there was a therapist that was doing a talk, like a grand rounds at Mayo, that I randomly went to because it was about chronic illness. And one of the things that she said to me, like just to me, no, she said in general, was so many times people fight their illnesses, and you can't fight something that's never going to go away. And so instead you have to learn to work with it. So that really made me shift. Like I will never not have Ehlers-Danlos, fibromyalgia, like all my gut stuff, like it will always be a part of me. Yeah. So how do I work with it? And so that was a lot of learning, and a lot of trial and error, honestly. So then all that happened. From about 2015 to 2019 was really when all of that was happening. And Heather, then 2020 came. Oh, go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt, but just to add a little context to this, are you still dealing with the eating disorder at this time, or is that battle mostly past as you're dealing with all these other issues that you're finding out about?
So that luckily is past. It was pretty severe in high school. I don't know if people listening or have you heard, like sometimes when it's really severe, like you just miss parts of your life. Like I don't remember 10th grade. Like I don't remember it. And I was valedictorian. Like I was an A student. And so I obviously did things, did well, but I don't remember it.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I know one of, in therapy I went to the Emily program, which is a, world-renowned eating disorder treatment facility in the Twin Cities and is expanded elsewhere. They said one of the things that eating disorder does is it's protecting you from something because it's a mental health disorder. And so it was protecting me from the extreme anxiety I had, kind of dealing with some dysfunction in my home life, So they said, even though it's sad that you don't remember that, it was doing its job, if that makes sense. Like, it's a really weird thing to think about. But so it was really severe in high school. Like, I had anorexia and I binged through exercising. So I had this really complicated relationship with activity. So once I got too skinny, then because I was like, well, now I can't be too skinny, then I started to eat more. So I would control that. So I gained a little weight, but I was still binging through exercising and did that really through college. And then I kind of shifted a little. Like, I had like all of the eating disorders. So I went to kind of binge eating. Now, a lot of times people think binge eating is like you eat 10 cakes and then you throw it up. But often it's you're eating generally more than someone would eat, but you think it's an excessive amount, the person who has the disease. So maybe what I was eating wasn't excessive, but I thought it was. And then it caused all that mental stress.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It is. It's an important topic. I interviewed Tim Tollefson. I don't know if you listened to that one or not, well-known trail runner. And he, 4 or 5 years ago, came out about his eating disorder that he was dealing with most of his life. And like you said, it comes down to a mental issue. And it's a really, really tough battle to get through. So
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, keep
going.
No,
that's okay. Because you need food, like you need to eat. And it's just, that is the tool that him and I use to control. And
yeah,
I don't know if you talked about that, but it's just such a control thing. And so in 2010, Jasper was 3, and I grew up listening to both my parents, family on both sides, constantly talk about weight, going on a diet, how they look, judging other people. It was constant. I was called solid, like when I was younger. And then, I gained all this weight, and then that wasn't good. And then I lost a ton of weight. That wasn't good. And the whole time they're talking about their bodies, and I was taking it all in. And so then when I was overweight and I saw someone who was, I say clinically overweight, whatever, in a larger body, and they were talking bad about themselves, but that's how I look too, then I was like, am I bad? Like, so it was, especially as a kid, it was this whole very confusing. So I said to myself and to my husband, I said, I'm going to get treatment because I don't want my kid to grow up in that. Yeah. I don't want them to have that at all. Yeah. And so I'm going to do whatever I need to do to heal and get this out of my system. Yeah. So I went to outpatient treatment at Emily program for 2 years. And I pretty much went to therapy once a week for 2 years. I worked at the University of Minnesota. They were amazing, supportive environment to allow that. They were like, you need to take care of you. No questions asked. So that stopped then in like 2012, 2013, ironically, right when I started to get sick.
As you start dealing with all these other issues. Oh my God.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Your body was like, okay, you fixed that. Let me throw some more shit at you. Yeah, how about this? Right. How about this? Little side of this. Yeah. Wow. So as you're finding out about all these things going on in your body, all these different chronic conditions, you're finding help for them though. And is it mostly is it mental? Is it mostly like physical therapy? Is it diet? Is it pharmaceutical? What are you finding that's helping? Because you like you said, you're dealing with all these things today. Other than, maybe the eating disorder, you're dealing with all these conditions still. What are you finding, Heather, that's helping you with all these different things going on?
Sure. As far as pharmaceuticals, I tried many for pain management and they didn't really work for whatever reason for me. So I had to do other things, physical therapy. I did massage for a long time. I would do water workouts which I love to be in the pool with the little old ladies and working hard. And then just knowing when to take breaks, listening to my body. Yeah. You know, there's times where my training schedule might say you need to go, like, on a Sunday, you need to go run 4 miles. So I usually do my long run on Saturday, and then I do the next, like, run on tired legs on Sunday. And some days I just can't. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do the next week. So really listening to that. I did some, like, naturopath things, which helped a little. But it's not something I consistently did. The one thing, though, that helped with the digestive system the most was when they were talking to me about getting my colon removed, I was like, I'm going to try one last ditch effort. And I was like, let me try a whole food plant-based diet. Let me just try it. It's like the cleanest way you can eat, and just see if that works. Without then again turning into being obsessed with clean food, right? Because then you have orthorexia, which is a whole other thing. Right. But I did it, and it solved it.
You're kidding.
I mean,
so you're plant-based now? No, you're vegan?
No, not all the way.
Okay.
So I did it for like 2 years. I did it during COVID because it's intense. Like, you have to make everything from scratch. Even salad dressings, like, it is time intense. Every Sunday I spent 4 hours batching food for the next week. But during COVID, it was like, what else am I going to do? I don't know. So I did that, and it worked. Like, it really cleaned it. I felt so good. My inflammation went down. And I still eat some of that way. Yep. Because I know I have trigger foods that I can't eat. If I eat, I'll get sick immediately. Before I was diagnosed, I was throwing up 2 to 3 nights a week because my system couldn't process food. So then I would eat it, and it would just I would just throw up at night. Like, it was a normal part of my life. And that stopped immediately once I switched to whole food plant-based. So I would love to get back to eating that way more.
Yeah.
It just takes so much time. I bet
you eat a lot less processed stuff, though, right?
Yeah, like, I can't really eat anything fried. Dairy is really hard for me. Any super high sugar, which makes nutrition for running interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So, yeah, that's been helpful.
Good. My wife and I switched recently to... I do all the cooking. I don't know if you do the cooking or your spouse does the cooking, but I do the cooking in our house. And for the last, 4 or 5 years, we've done these meal programs where we do like 5 nights a week, and they're not prepared, but you get all the ingredients and you cook it up. And we've done, Green Chef, all these ones. She switched us, how long ago? 3 or 4 months ago, to Purple Carrot, which is a vegan program. We still eat some cheese. I still have some meat occasionally, but it's really clean cooking. And I like it because, well, like you said, if you're going all the way down, nothing processed, it's a lot of time to prepare. But this Green Chef it's got some processed, like, fake cheese and things like that in there, which speeds up the process. But I can get a meal ready in a half hour. Now, tonight, I was late because I didn't have time to cook, so I ordered something from the little Mexican place down the street, and it was late getting here. That's why I was late to start tonight. But but I do, as we get older, my wife and I don't know that we'll be vegan or even vegetarian, but getting much closer. The other thing for me too, and I have longtime friends who are vegetarian, vegan for humanitarian reasons, and I really appreciate that. I'm a dog. Well, as you'll learn, I'm a dog lover. I'm a lover of animals and all human life, and it's just like, I don't know about eating meat. And today I know there's chemicals in it. Some of them have less, but there's so many great vegetarian options that are non-meat.
Yes.
So, I mean, you could do Beyond Burger, which has the chemicals in it, but there's also ones that are made out of, black beans and carrots and all kinds of stuff. So, a lot of great options today. We're living in a good time as far as it goes to that. As far as it goes to like politics in the world and other shit, where, it's a hellhole, but food wise, we're living.
I know.
For Tiffany and I, we talked quite a bit of politics, but is what it is. State of the state. Okay, so I want to talk about some specific races. I want to talk about your training and some of your trail runs since 2023. Anything more? And we'll probably the chronic illness stuff will come up as we're talking about some of this, because I want to learn from you how you adapt your training and how maybe the training actually helps with some of these things. Like you said, you're doing strength training, which absolutely helps with, I'm sure, the fibromyalgia and some of the other stuff. What's the name of the disease on the soft tissue? What did you call that again?
Ehlers-Danlos then I have the hypermobile type.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, my joints are very lax.
As I get older, I have, arthritis in my two big toe, my MTP joints.
Yes.
And so I just yesterday, like literally all night until I fell asleep, I'm like, I cannot even sit still because this pain is so bad. I'm like, I'm going to go get a cortisone shot at Tria or someplace before I do my big run in June, because it's like, how am I going to get through that thing? I can't imagine you going through what you're going through, but
what's your big run?
I am doing, my big one is Fans Ultra 24-hour race. So Mario, if you listen to the pod, Mario and I are doing all 24 hours. Eric's going to do 6 hours. Your good friend Jason Reeve said he's going to come up and pace us in the middle of the night. He's going to be the middle of the night pacer. David Shannon, if you know David, great guy, interviewed him. He's the race director for that. And it's interesting because it's a 2-mile loop and it's basically on a paved path. So it's not like, trail runners like this, but I've never run at night. I've never gone farther than like 33 miles. I've never tried to run for longer than, say, 10 hours. So I'm like, David's like, this is a good training if you ever want to try to do a longer distance or, 100 miles. So I'm looking forward to it. I've got my cot. I'm going to take some naps, Heather. I might,
of course.
They might be 2 hours long. I don't know. I'm a heavy sleeper if Mario can't wake me up, but I'm just looking forward to have fun. Just see what I can do. My goal is 100 kilometers, which is 62 miles, which I think we'll see how my knees hold up. Hopefully I can get through that. It'll be a lot of walking and some jogging. Mario, he's going to hit 100 miles.
Yeah.
I'm going to make him hit 100 miles. He's going to do it. He's training his butt off. So that's my big race this year. And we're going to talk about your races. So I want to get back to, so you kind of come back to the trail running after COVID. You're kind of getting back into it. You're doing more, dealing with all of this stuff. You start doing, and I'm looking at your ultra sign up here. You're doing races in 2024, 2023. When is your first marathon? Is that the Superior Marathon in 2025? Was that your first marathon distance?
My first trail marathon.
You had done a road marathon in Florida back in what did you say,
2010.
2010. Wow. Okay. So road marathon, Superior Marathon, it's basically, Superior is like double the distance. That thing, let's talk about it. I want to talk about it because I've talked to several people. I want to do it. I may sign up for it next year. That 100-mile I would love to do. And I interviewed Amber last year, and she's fast, and she didn't get through it. And David Shannon didn't get through it. It's like, it is so hard, folks. People think, oh, it's Minnesota. That is gnarly. Tree roots and rocks and mud and conditions, and it's those little sawtooth mountains. They will eat you up. That marathon, I've known a lot of people have completed it. You've completed it once. You're going to do it again this year. I see you're signed up for it. So tell me about it. So obviously you found out about that because you knew Rocksteady and you knew Afton.
Yep.
and you signed up for it. What made you choose that one? Why Superior?
Oh, I love it up there. To me, it is pure magic. So my Division 3, when I was in college, it was at St.
Oh, okay.
Scholastica in Duluth. So I was like up in that area, and I've always
Yeah.
loved it since then. My husband and I, every year for my birthday, that's where we went.
Yeah.
Um, but I backpacked on the trail in 2023 with some friends.
Okay.
So we went 3 days, 2 nights, and it was like, I don't even have words to explain how magical that time was. And I was like, man, if I'm going to do some amazing trail running in Minnesota, I have to do it. And I had heard of
Yeah.
Superior. Like, I think most people in the Midwest know the Superior
Yes.
100. Like, it is
Yep.
just a known race. Um, and
It's like
so,
grandma's
yeah,
marathon.
it's
Everybody's
just,
heard of it. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and so I was like, oh, I'll just put my hat in the ring for that. That was my big thing I was going to do last year. And I loved every second. There was not a second I didn't love. Even as I was going up Carlton's Peak and the last mountain, I don't remember the name of it, but like you said, I don't know for the first several miles if my feet like touched dirt because you were constantly on tree roots. Like, it was a whole different way of running. You were running on your toes a
Yeah.
little more. Um, so that was interesting. But you were also like very much in a single file then. So it's not like you're going super fast or anything.
Yeah.
But that was fun too. Like, all of
Yeah.
us, I mean, for the first like 4 miles, you're just like people right in front and
Yep.
behind you. You're talking the whole time because you're not really
Yeah.
running fast. Um, and then it opens up, and it was just, it can't be beat. Going through Temperance State Park, that was the most beautiful thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen. It was just gorgeous. Um, and then there was some like key features that really made it better. One of my best friends came with to be in the vibes of the race. So she's like a beginner trail runner, and I'm like, well, if you want to see what it's really like, the culture, come with me to Superior and whatever. So she did. So she was there, and that was great
Yeah.
before and after. And then at the last aid station, it was by, I think, Twin Cities Running does the last one.
Okay.
And one of the women from my 50K training group, her and her husband are always like at that aid station. So when I came in, she was like, Heather, Heather, Heather. And I was, out of it. It was, almost at the end. And she saved me. I literally went up to her, and she's like, do you need food? Do you need anything? And I said, I don't know what I need. So she was like, okay, well, let me take your poles, go to the
Yeah.
bathroom, come back, and I'm going to have food for you. And I was like, okay. So I did that, and I came back, and then her husband kept saying, Heather, what do you want to eat? And I was like, I don't know. My mind was done.
Yeah.
And so they like just gave me food, and then,
Yeah.
so that was
That
really
aid
awesome.
that aid station's
Yeah.
like I think it's the same one that's on the 50K, 25K in the spring, right? It's like 6.5 miles from. It's at the
Yeah.
turnaround, so it's like 6.5 miles from the end. You still have that big climb to go over, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
So you've been running all day by this point. Yeah,
Yeah. It definitely, us in the back of the pack, we have
yeah.
literally been running all day.
Oh,
So, and then I ran the last bit with another woman who was doing the 50K, the fire tower that I was doing with her. So we ended up at
okay.
the aid station at the same time. So we finished together, which was so cool. That was really amazing to finish like hand in hand with her.
Yeah,
That made it
awesome.
really special.
Yeah, I love it up there. I do. I do need to do the marathon. The cutoff for the 50 miler. I don't think I can make that. I know I
I want
can't
to
make. What
so
is it for the
bad.
100 miler? It's like 38 hours or something, or 36 hours. I
It's
just don't
around that.
see. Yeah, I don't see any
Yeah.
way. I
My
don't see any way.
sister-in-law did the 100 last year, and
She did.
she's been a lifelong athlete. She is like hardcore adrenaline seeker, and she just started trail running probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And she just like did the 100. I mean, she prepared and trained and everything. And she made it. She made it like with 10 minutes left. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
She just made it. Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
It was
impressive.
really cool.
Yeah, it's yeah. I know Amber. I hope you know Amber Thielbar. She's a great runner. Like she's won the Mines of Spain race, down in Iowa.
Oh yeah.
She's like won that. Coming third, she's won it. She did Superior last year and she had an issue, and even somebody fast like that, she was like, not gonna make it. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's scary. Yeah. I do want to do the marathon, but one of these years. So we've jumped into last year, 2025, and I know you did stuff before then, but I want to talk about last year because that seems like a real pivotal year for you. You do almost all of the Rocksteady races. You start off with Zumbro. You do the 17 miler. I did not do it last year. I did do it last year. I tried to do the 34 miler. I did the 17 miler, but according to John, I didn't do anything because he doesn't put your name up there if you don't finish. So, blew my knee up halfway through. So you do Zumbro, then you go and do John's Afton 25K again in the middle of summer. It was hot as hell. Let's talk about that day. Eric was fine. I had a hellacious day. I think I had heat stroke. At one point, he was, I think we talked about it on a podcast, but at one point, Heather, like halfway through, when you're coming back to that aid station, the second aid station, you come back to it the second time after you climb those things. There's one point, there's like a restroom right off the path. And I'm like, I got to go in there. And I'm just sweating, dying because it was so humid. It wasn't that hot, but it's so humid. And Eric was like, I'm going to give him 3 minutes and then I'm calling 911 because I don't trust him in there. But I got ice. I made it through, but it was warm. How was your day out there that day?
Ooh, it was tough because of the mud.
Yeah.
Because we had that huge it had rained and then we had the huge downpour right before we were supposed to start.
Yes.
It was just massive.
Yes.
And so, I mean, people were going down some of the hills on their butt because they were like, I'm not even going to try to stay upright. They were just go down. So it was really hard in that respect. Like most of the energy or my energy was trying to stay upright. It wasn't running. Like I could hardly run or even hike. It was just like, don't fall over. So that made it really hard. And then, at the end, after the clouds cleared, it was so hot and humid. Just,
I have vowed to not do that race again, but it's like, can't get into Superior because that's a lottery. Zumbro's so early in the season. So if I want to do a Rocksteady race, maybe I'll volunteer. I don't know. We'll see what my July. I think it's on the 4th of July this year. So 2025, my point is this. You start out Zumbro, then you do Afton. You got in the lottery for the Superior Trail Marathon. Spoiler alert, you do your first 50K. And I want to talk about 50 women do 50K because Jameson and I spent quite a while talking about this. And it's really exciting that I get to hear from your side of the story of what that was like going through the program. When you set that year in motion, 2025, had something clicked for you where you're like, fuck it, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do a 50K? Or did it just kind of develop slowly and organically? When did you decide to do the Fire Tower 50K and do all these races in 2025 and just build all this momentum? How did that develop?
It actually started in 2023. I did Storm the Park, which I just listened to your episode, reliving the one this year. That was a tough one. But I had done Storm the Park 5K. that was my first trail race. So after I like went to Oxbow and had the pivotal moment, that was my first trail race. So I did that trail race. I came home and I broke my leg that night. Right. So I was like, well, there that goes for a while. But when I was sitting there, literally just sitting there for weeks with my leg broken, I was like, what do I miss the most? Like, I have to figure this out. Like, what in my life is, and it was gardening, because I'm a huge gardener, and running in the woods. And so I was also watching like documentaries and whatever. And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to be an ultra runner. If I'm going to run, I may as well. If I'm going to be a trail runner, I may as well be a trail runner. So I started like thinking through that. And so then once I got better, I started running and I was like, I can do this. I was running some races, not big ones. And though, with my body and how the issues it has, I knew I had to lose weight. At that point, I was overweight. And to the point where I could do the things like that I was doing. I was active. I ate well. I did all the things. But if I wanted to go to the next level, it had to happen. And so I dealt with all of that internally. And I went on medication to help with the metabolic issue. And then over the year, I continued to train. And then I lost 100 pounds.
100 pounds?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So that took, I think, a year. I don't remember. I started in April of 2024. So yeah, probably April 25. And then I started really training. So that just helped. It helped my running, my joints, anyway, which it would. It's just less stress on your body.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sign up for the Superior 25. It's my favorite place and I like a goal. And I got in like the first time.
Yeah.
So then I was training for it and I was talking to Jason Reeve at Terra Loco one day. And I was like, yeah, I got into the Superior 25 the marathon. I'm so excited. This is going to be so great. And he goes, why don't you just do a 50K? It's 6 miles more. And I was like, tell me more. But, and so he brought up the Fire Tower 50K and he brought up the program, the 50 Women Run 50K. And he's like, I just think, you're going to be doing Superior, you're going to be trained up. So why not a month later, just add the 6 miles and do Fire Tower? I was like, why not? So I, looked it up online and talked to Nora Bird, who's the coach. And I told her, hey, I already am wanting to do and am doing the Superior 20 marathon. Would it make sense then a month later to do Fire Tower? And she said, actually, you can just count it as a training run. And 2, it's probably the Superior is going to be harder than the Fire Tower.
It is.
So
it is, I think. I've never done Superior, but by all accounts, folks, it's an ultra marathon and then some. It's crazy hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just decided to sign up and it just all went from there. And knew I was basically committing to a part-time job training and talked to like my husband and my son and being like, you guys have to watch the dogs a lot. Like I'm just doing this, but they're very supportive and we're like, they think I'm wackadoo for all of this anyway. So they're like, okay. And I also really, really, really wanted the experiences to be enjoyable. And I'm known to not train well, hence what I talked about in the 2010 marathon. And I was like, I have to be consistent. Like my goal, if nothing else, is to train well. And so that was really what was guiding me, was the whole training process, because I knew if I trained, I could do that distance. And I completed both of them. But I'm a little more proud of the training that I did. because
So,
that was hard for me. It was really hard.
let's talk about your training, and I want to talk about your nutrition because I know you're dealing with all this stuff. So I want to know what your nutrition looks like for something like that. So the 50 Women for 50K is the program Jameson and Lisa set up for. I mean, I freaking love those guys, and
They're
I did
amazing.
it 2 years, I think 2 years before that, and he was already trying to get women in the program, and we talked about that. But 50 Women for 50K, it did not cost you anything to do. You were able to sign up with Nora Bird.
Yep.
Is it called Bird Training? What is she called?
Yep. Team Bird training.
Team Bird Training. So you got to sign up, got a coach for free. What did that
Yes.
look like? Is that like in April or May or summertime that you sign up with her to start that training? Or when do you start that training with Nora Bird?
So let's see. I think registration opens in March for the fire tower. I
Okay.
think that's what it was. And then you had to sign up by a certain date to be part of the cohort because there had to be a
Okay.
cutoff and you had to, she had to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
ready.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think we started training in June.
Okay.
And we had our cohort and we met via Zoom because the people were from all
Okay.
over Minnesota. And I think there was a woman from Illinois in the beginning, so it was
Okay.
just a different group of people. And once we kind of like had our initial large group meetings, then we broke into kind of experience levels. So if you were like a true beginner
Okay.
runner, that was one cohort. If you ran 20 to 30 miles a week, that was another. And then 50 or more than that, that was
Yeah.
the fast group. And they were a little more seasoned.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. So then you had like your own smaller group and you would meet with Nora in a group. And we had a Facebook page. And then she also had a training plan that was
Okay.
in the Training Peaks software. So we had our regimented plan 5 days a week. You
Boom, boom, boom.
did your
And
training.
she's watching your training going, Heather, come on.
Yeah.
You got to put in 5 more miles this week. What are you
I know.
doing? Right?
How was this run? You were supposed to do hills. Come on.
So she's designed your whole training for that year. So as you're doing these other races, that's coming into play, and she's taking that into account. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the movie. You're a movie
Yes.
star now. I haven't gotten to see it. Like every time it's playing someplace, I'm like, we're out of town. I'm gone.
Oh,
The one
no.
time I could have gone, I went after I interviewed Jameson. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's at the whatever it was, the theater right in St. Anthony, Maine, or wherever."
the main theater.
And yeah, and I went there and it was sold out.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, the one show I can go to is sold out. Will he be releasing that on like YouTube or something or some point, or I would happily pay for it. Can people watch that some way at some point in the future? Do you know? And it's
I
called
think they will
it's
be.
called Is it called Fire? The Fire, or what's the name
It's
of the
called
movie? Heather?
Fire. It's just called Fire. And then like the little
Okay.
tagline is every step counts.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, there was the St. Anthony Maine showing. There was one at REI. And then I think Duluth is actually Thursday, the 21st.
Thursday. Yep, I saw that.
And then I'm trying to get it down here in Rochester.
Okay.
Because we have the Southeast Minnesota Trail Runners group down here.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, they might like it. And then another set of runners that did the 50K are from Owatonna. And so this is just a little closer for people.
Right.
So I'm trying to work through that with the theater down here. But
I will pay for it and have it at my house. And if, whatever I got
have
to
a screening.
have a screening at my house. I will happily pay for that. I've got friends that come over and watch it. But so the filming, does that start right away in the summer, or what are they filming? Are they, because you guys are meeting remotely, you're not meeting together. What is, and it's the Pickle Project, and I forget his name. What's the
Jeff
gentleman's
Berg.
name? Jeff Berg.
Yeah.
What's Jeff filming? What exactly is he all filming for this movie, Fire?
So, initially we had like a group run in Minneapolis, and I couldn't go to it because it was like 5 a.m. And I was like, I'm not getting up at 3:00. This is not happening.
Yeah.
So he would go to like those training runs and would film that footage. He interviewed people, like one-on-one interviews, and then certain folks, he would go to their house and do kind of that sort of documentary. Yeah. Like there's one woman who, this was her first big running foray after having twins, and I think they're like 3 or 4. So there was some amazing footage from her house. And then we went up to St. Croix State Park in July, all of us, to do a practice run.
Sure.
So he was there for that. And then he also had Christine Ambruster. She does photos a lot for Rocksteady races too. She was also there filming. So kind of had 2 people. And then, so that's kind of the summer. Okay. And then the day of the race, it was literally like we had paparazzi. There was at least 8 people filming the entire time.
You had a whole crew
every
up
aid
there.
station.
Oh, wow.
Wow. There were times where I was like...
Dylan Harris on the bit, huh?
Oh.
Wow.
I remember at like one aid station, it was one of the last ones. It was so hot that day. It was like 95 degrees, and I'm not being hyperbolic. It was that hot that day. And I was like bent over, and someone had like done like a wet sponge over like, my neck. And this guy was like underneath me videotaping, getting my reaction to the cold water. I was like, this is very weird.
Okay. I want to talk about that day and the heat and everything. So that summer you're doing all the training. You're doing the training with Nora Bird. Jeff is filming you guys. You're doing your other races. And I wrote down, because I was, this is what I do. I spy on your Strava before I talk to you. In the course of 2 months, Heather, you did a 27-mile run, a 26-mile marathon at Superior, and a 50K in the course of 2 months, 8 weeks. Wow. Boom, boom, boom. Crazy. And you got faster, I think, with each time, because your fastest time is the 50K for your... whatever I looked at, your marathon time or something, whatever I pulled up, that was your fastest. Mm-hmm. So day of the race happens. Tell us that story. Did you camp out the night before? Did you go up that morning? It's a long drive from Rochester. You must have gone up the night before.
Yeah, we went up the night before. My friend Caitlin that came to Superior, she came again to support me. Okay. And we went up the night before. We stayed at the casino. Because I was like, I want a bed.
Yes.
Like, I can camp, but not if I'm going to do that.
No. The heat.
Yeah, so
you wake up and you're thinking, oh, it's October. It's, northern Minnesota. It's going to be 62 degrees. And you wake up and what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Luckily, it was a very hot summer. So we're kind of used to running in that. And ironically, the weekend that we went out for the practice run, it was the same weather. It was like 95. And so this is, when I think of St. Croix State Park, I think of very, very, very warm weather. But we were hot in the morning, which is not how it is in races. Normally you're cold and, you strip off layers. So we were all like in our tank tops at 6 a.m.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's not going to get any cooler. It was really, really hot. And there's not a lot of cover there. There's some parts where you are in woods, but there's a lot of prairie running. Yeah. And so it was a balance. It was all about electrolytes and hydration. Because you're just sweating so much.
Bandana? Did they have ice at the aid stations? What'd you do for ice and cooling? How'd you stay cool?
So I like hot weather running, so it didn't like super bother me. I know I'm weird.
You have heat stroke. You just said you have heat stroke.
See, this is my brain.
Do you know Erin Shaw? I don't know if you listened to that one or not.
I did.
I interviewed her and she's like, I hate heat. I go to Scotland to do my trail runs because she hates the heat. So she wants to do a winter one. So you like the heat. You like the heat.
Yeah. So I I mean, I used like the ice sponges and all of that, and I had an ice bandana, but the ice melted so fast it was just annoying to have it. So I was like, ugh. So I just didn't even use it after a while. And yeah, I would say the last 20 miles, well, yeah, maybe the last 15 miles were really, really warm. And I was in a lot of pain. And I remember Jeff, I was coming around a curve and he was videotaping. And he was like, "How's it going, friend?" And I'm like, "My hips hurt. I'm over it, but I'm going to finish." Like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Because it was flat. Like, it's a flatter course.
Yes.
And I train in hills. I'm like in bluff country. So like I did Superior and I wasn't sore afterwards.
Right.
I felt like I ran, but like I was like, eh. The next day I was walking around like normal. For Fire Tower, it like wrecked me. Like just the flatness.
Yeah.
So there were women who were like road runners, and this was their first trail run, and they just blasted through. They were just like, "This is a soft road," and actually one of the women in our group won the female division.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's Elena, and she's from Minneapolis, and I see her now on Strava all the time, and she is like this fast road runner, and she did awesome. She's so humble. Like at the end, she was interviewed, and the person I was interviewing her was like, "Yeah, you won! Like, what an accomplishment!" And she was like, "Yeah, I guess it is." They're like, "Yeah, take that win, smile, celebrate." And she's like, "I did do good."
Oh wow! I was going to ask you. So the training group. Did you guys run together? Obviously, you didn't. There was some that were faster and some that were finished later. Did you run with anybody from the group for periods of time, or were you all just kind of separated doing your own thing?
I think some people that were, practiced together, trained together, they had their pace, so they ran together. There were times where I would go, like in the beginning, I ran with Hannah, but her pace is faster than me. So we were together for a couple miles and she went on. Yeah. And then I would see this woman, Anne, who's the one that saved me at Superior, the Superior aid station. Her and I went back and forth a little bit. And then she eventually got faster at my hips. Like they were just killing me. So I got to the last aid station. I have these pivotal moments at the last aid stations. So I get to the last aid station and it was 10 miles before the end. So it's like pretty far away from the end. And I was sitting there, I was like hunched over because that's the only way to get pressure off my hips was how to lean over. And Lucy came up from the group and she said, "Heather, how's it going?" And I'm like, my hips hurt. Like it hurt so bad. I'm like, and then I started crying because I was like, I did a marathon, so however long ago, and I've only ran 20 miles. How is this happening? And she knew what I needed. So she got in my face and she's like, "Heather, you get out there and you finish that race. You eat 10 miles for breakfast. This is nothing." And she was just yelling at me. And so I was like, okay.
Okay.
So then I went out and then I started walking a little bit and she caught up to me and then her and I ran the last mile together and it was amazing. And it's in the documentary and I try not to tear up because it was so cool to finish together. It was just so neat.
I cry. I made a little film when I did mine and, what did I call it? How do I not remember the names of my damn films, Heather? I make these films and I can't remember the names. It's actually gotten a lot of views because people look it up because they want to do the Fire Tower 50K. But I made a film of it. I had a great day. It's it's the fastest marathon I've ever done. I'm like you. I do much better on hills where I have to do a lot of hiking. my knees gave out at that. There's like that aid station. It's like 10 miles out, probably the same one. I think there's another little one like 3 miles out, but that one, I don't know, doesn't
Yeah.
count. But that one at 10 miles out, my knees were so bad. I was running with Annika, who I follow on Strava. She went on to finish about 20 minutes in front of me. We ran together all day. She's in the film for a good portion. And then in the film at one point, I'm like, you go ahead. My knees are too bad. I can't keep up with you anymore. But I was very emotional when I finished. I had lost my mom the year before. And so, and I had lost my dad years ago. So, I was just thinking about them and like what they would think of me as this 50-something-year-old guy doing these finishing my first ultra marathon. Because as you finish it, Heather, you're an ultra marathoner now. Yeah. Forget about this, marathon stuff. Well, you had gone 27 miles 2 months before that, but so I really want to see the film because I got to see that. So I got to figure out how I'm going to watch that. But
they did
appropriately, the film is called Fire because it was super hot.
I know so many things with that word.
I know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, they did a really, really good job on it. Yeah. It's funny. It's touching. It encapsulates part of what doing an ultra is. And so it's really great.
I love good filmmakers. I was lucky enough I reached out to Dylan Harris and Drew Darby, who does all of Sally McRae's videos. And because I knew Tony Gillum, who they filmed last year at Cocodona, they were like, sure, we'll come on your podcast and talk about the film. And oh my God, have you seen The Cutoff? Have you seen it yet?
I haven't. It's on my list. I know.
Yeah. Next time, if you're stuck on a treadmill or whatever, if you got time on the weekend, watch it. And I watch it with good sound. It is the most, and maybe the Fire is like this too, but it's the most well-made trail running film I've ever seen. I cried and cried several times in there. Just these really touching moments, but all right. So 2025, you finished that. Did you do anything after that? Or were you like, okay, I'm done now, 2025? Did you do, was that your final race? Cause that's in October.
No, I did the Turkey Day 5K. And then,
what is this Yeti stuff you're doing? You're doing 24-hour challenge? We got to talk about Yeti. What is this?
Okay. So the Yeti Trail Run, like the Yeti Trail Run group, it's an online group, but they do races mainly in like Appalachia area.
Okay.
And they're all about like run Yeti far. So like instead of fast, it's far. So it's all about the vibe and like supporting people and whatever. Yep. So I've kind of followed them. They were actually probably the first trail running ultra group that I kind of knew about. Okay. So one of the races they do is the 24-hour Stabby Cat Challenge. And I had been looking at doing it. And basically what you do is for 24 hours, every 4 hours, you run 5 miles. Oh. So I did it this year for my birthday. So I started at like 6 o'clock and ran the 5 miles. Okay. And then at 10 o'clock, I ran another 5. So I did that for 24 hours. Oh, God. And that was my first time night running. So that was interesting to kind of get that experience. One time the night running was in the woods, and Jason and John and Haley came with, and they ran with me in the woods. So I wouldn't be alone my first time. And then the other 2, I just ran in my neighborhood because it was like 1 in the morning and 4 in the morning or something around that time. So that was interesting in and of itself, like running in the middle of the night in your own neighborhood. And then I had a run at River Park, and then I finished at Whitewater.
Okay. Wow. So you went do you have, this all has to happen in 24 hours, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get any sleep? Did you get any sleep?
I would sleep like an hour or 2 in between. Because I think 5 miles takes me about an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But I'd have to drive to the places. So
Yeah,
like,
you're like
yeah,
going to whitewater stuff. That's crazy. All right, I'll have to look into that. I saw that and I was like, that looks really fun.
it's really fun. And I have to
Yeah,
tell you about my whitewater experience. So this was in
yeah,
October. And so I had done Fire Tower. This was October 24th. My birthday's the 24th, so it was around that
okay,
weekend. And so I'm like, this will be fine. I have breaks. And it was
yeah,
fine. But I get to Whitewater, and from Storm the Park, the Dakota Trail ascent on the side of the
yeah.
bluff. So imagine that, but with leaves on the trail.
Oh
And I
yeah.
had never been on that trail. I had no idea. Like, I was like, this is the most epic trail. I'm going to do it to finish my race. I never
Mm-hmm.
like went on the trail to see what it was like. So I didn't know at the one part where it does the really quick turn, like that hairpin turn. I didn't know that happened. So I just kept going straight. I was like scaling the bluff. I don't
Oh
I don't even know
God.
what happened. I
Oh
was so
God.
scared. I was shaking. So I finally like made it to the top and I'm like, I am not on a trail. Like this is not a trail. So I was like, well, I think I have to go that way. So I went a certain way and I saw a guy running and I was like, okay, that's where I need to go. It was
Oh
the
God.
scariest like 40 minutes of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Do not
Oh my
recommend.
God. And that wasn't at night though, because that would have
No,
been really scary. Yeah.
it wasn't at night. However, it was my last run. I started at
Yeah.
4 o'clock and I thought I'd be done.
Oh.
I'd be done by 5:15. Because I did my scaling of the mountain and added all that time, it was pitch black when I finished and I didn't have my
Yeah.
headlamp because I'm like, I'm going to be done.
Right.
So, and I didn't know where I was. I almost sat down and cried because like I was off trail even at the end. So I got to the highway and I was like, okay, I think my car is this way. So I just walk on the highway, hoping no one hits me. I don't have any lights.
Oh
And
God.
then I got to the parking lot and this random dude was there. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to take a chance because I don't know. So I asked him if he knew the trails well, and he said he did. And he told me exactly where to go. And I booked it to my car and got in. I was like, Whitewater, I have a
Uh,
love-hate relationship with that
yeah.
place.
So that was in October. So you were back there in April.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience. I looked up your time and we talked about it with Eric and Mario. You
Oh, yeah.
finished an hour before us, Heather. So not the back of the pack according to us. We were on the bottom of page 2 of a total of 3 pages of results. You were solidly in the middle of page 2, an hour in front of us. How was your day this year out at Whitewater State Park? Much better without leaves, I imagine. Number one, and
Much
people.
better. I could actually see the trail. Um, it was good. So I was coming off of pneumonia. So I had pneumonia in February. I know. Yeah. So I had pneumonia. I'm like,
And
how
you
do
hurt
you
your
get
ankle too,
pneumonia?
right? You hurt your
What's
ankle
that?
this. I saw your post. You hurt
Yeah.
your ankle this winter too, right?
I supposedly had a stress reaction. So almost a stress
Okay.
fracture.
Okay.
And it was so dumb. I know exactly what happened. It was this day at Oxbow where I ran in the morning and then I hiked at night and I didn't have the right shoes on and with my like joint, whatever.
Yeah.
So I know what happened. So I was dealing with that. And then you talked about cortisone shots earlier. I went to my sports doctor and I was like, you got to shoot up my tendon. I want to race this year. I don't want my surgery yet. Because he said I had 3 more shots left. So that was my one of them. So I got my Achilles tendon shot up. So that helped. Like that really solved a
Yeah.
lot of the issues. And at that point, the top of my foot where the stress reaction was healed. So that happened. And then I got pneumonia, which I don't even know how you get pneumonia. Anyway, I work at a
I'm
hospital, so
old.
who knows?
I just got some vaccine for pneumococcal pneumonia because I'm
Yeah.
old, Heather. I have to get these vaccines, and you know.
Yeah. So I was coming off pneumonia, which is why I couldn't do
Yeah.
Zumbro this year and volunteered at it. I didn't have time to train. And so I'm like, but I'm going to do Storm the Park. And I want to do more than the 5K because usually when I run, the first 3 miles are the worst. Once I get to 3 or 4 miles, right, then you're like in a groove. So I'm like, I'm going to do longer. Yep. And it was so hard.
It was hard.
I was like, this is so hard. And I have been on that trail multiple times. I only live a half hour away. And it was cold. It was so cold.
It was
that
cold.
Being said, it was still a great experience. Bill and Mandy do an amazing job with their races. Wonderful volunteers. Marked really well. I mean, what more can you ask for? And all the people, you know, it was great to see you and the guys and other folks out there. I know Erin said, Erin Shaw, she saw me and like, I remember someone saying, "Hi, Heather." Like we passed each other, but like I couldn't place who it was. And so I had saw her at an event at Terra Loco like a week later. She goes, "Yeah, I know. I saw you and you didn't know who I was. I could tell in your face." I was like, I don't know. I was really tired.
I was tired when we got done and we recorded our podcast. I was like, somebody said that's the hardest 50K. And Eric and Mario like, it was Heather, you idiot. I was like, was it? I don't remember. Yeah.
That's, I mean, when the first year. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's deceivingly tough, especially if there's any kind of moisture or it's cold. It gets hard going up and down. And then the two-way traffic can be challenging if it's on those steep, rocky, rooty, you know, inclines and declines. The two-way traffic can be tough because those trails are not very wide in some parts. But yeah, you were going to say?
And when it's like the cliff, like there's parts where it's a literal cliff and the trail is right on the edge. And I had that happen and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall. But the first year that I volunteered at Storm the Park, it was the year after I broke my leg. And I just remember there were people just dropping out of the 50K. And it was like, they were like, I had no idea it was going to be like this. Like, they were like, I can't do another lap. I physically cannot do another one. Now, this year, I think everyone finished that started.
Everyone finished every race. Well, we went through on our podcast all the race results. As far as I could tell from the race results, everyone that started finished. So
which is awesome.
It is awesome. I love Mandy and Bill. They're just absolutely the best, and they do first class stuff. So we're so lucky to have such wonderful race directors in our state and our, you know, local area between John and you know who I want to get on here too. And I've actually reached out to John, but you know, he's kind of a superstar. He doesn't have John Storkamp. He doesn't have time for me. I do want to get him on the podcast because I know he's got a great story.
Yeah.
But Chris.
And fun fact. My husband graduated with him.
No way. Really?
Oh my God. I think he kind of knows, like he might know like my face because he's a year older.
Can he put in a word for me? Yeah.
But I'm always like, I act like he know it. Like we're from the same town. So somehow we're like, know each other, but we really don't, but it's fine.
Well, I think him and Jameson are buddies because he's talked about like having a beer with, or not a beer, but like coffee or something. Or I don't know. They've hung out before, but Chris Swanky, though, I want to get on from the race director from St. Croix Running Company. And I have had him in my films. I've done 2 or 3 of his races. He's got a great little blog he writes now that he's been posting it on Instagram. And if you go out to his website, I've got to get him on because I don't know his story. Like I didn't know Jameson's story. I had him on and I was like, oh my God, what a cool person. What a great story. So I got to get Chris on here too at some point.
And his race, the Indiantiopa at Frontenac, is a really fun race.
It's kind of like the Barkley Marathon, right? You got to find pages in a book.
That's a different one. That's, I think, the Kinney.
Oh,
Um,
okay. What then? Tell me about this race that you've done. Maybe I don't know that
so
one.
they have a 5 and a 10 mile race at Frontenac State Park, and it's a beautiful park. I don't know if you've been there. Um,
I have
right
not.
on the Mississippi, outside of Lake, in between Red Wing and Lake City. It is
Oh,
gorgeous.
wow.
There's a prairie area, but there's all this on the bluff. And so at the end, you do this like lower trail. I don't remember what it's called. And then you go at the end, there's rock stairs. You literally go off a bluff, which I didn't know those were there. My first time I did it. My friend said, "Oh, there's just a few stairs at the end." I was like, "Okay." And then I'm stopping halfway through, but you go up, and then
Yeah.
there's like the Inyanteopa Rock, which is a Native American name
Yeah.
for that rock, and it is just a very that last section reminds me of Whitewater and Superior.
Okay.
Like how it's very, very technical, a lot of
Yeah.
roots. You're going over boulders. It's a really cool one. I
Yeah.
wish more people did it. Like, so it continues. Like, I hope
Yeah.
it continues. But it's a pretty small race.
Is it?
Like,
He
yeah.
puts on great events. I've done three of his: the 10 miler, the 20 miler, both the ones at Willow. I did his icebox,
Oh,
480, and I made a great film about that one and what I call Bacon's berms and I don't know something because it's on this mountain bike course. That's a beautiful little course. I had a great time. I kind of want to go back and do that one again. I like the
okay.
timed events because that's why I'm doing the Vans 24 hour. They're just so low pressure. It's like, do what you want, leave when you want, go as
Yeah,
fast or as slow as you want, have food, rest, relax, just enjoy the scenery,
right.
enjoy the day. So I really enjoy those events. So this year you've done Storm the Park. What do you got on the docket? I'm looking at it right here. We talked about it. Superior Marathon again this year.
Yep.
You're doing the Crater Trail Run 25K, which
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Shaw talked about. That have you not done that one before, right?
No.
Is it woods? Is it near the river? What kind of scenery? What kind of a
Yeah,
trail is it?
it's woods. It's pretty technical. John from Terra Loco did it last year. He said it was a
Okay.
really, really nice course. Um, I've never been to Decorah, so it'll be a great excuse to go visit the town too. But it's in the driftless area, so it's very,
Okay.
bluffs and
Mines of Spain, like all that kind of,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Wonderful. And then what else? What else in 2026? Anything else?
Tomorrow, I'm coming up to the cities to do one of the endless summer trail race series that
Oh,
Rocksteady
okay.
puts on
Yeah.
at Lebanon Hills.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
then, so the 4th is Afton. The 11th is Dances with Dirt. I think it's in
Oh,
Baraboo.
okay. Okay. I've heard of
Um,
them. Yep.
yeah, and it's like I guess a very very tough course.
Okay.
And so I'm going to do the marathon.
Okay.
And
All right.
so then that's that weekend. And I'm doing that with John and Tiffany. And then
Oh, nice.
not Tiffany, the owner of Terra Loco, but our trail runner Tiffany.
Okay.
And then the next weekend is Storm the Farm. So
Oh,
I'll be doing
yeah.
like the half marathon length, I think, of that one. And that one, I just love it.
I
And it's so
really
random.
want to do it. Almost did it last year. This year, unfortunately, I will be in South Africa at that
Oh,
time.
darn.
Yeah, it's such a task. I have to go to
Oh,
South Africa with my wife and our friends. Just horrible.
yeah. I
Um,
don't know. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. I'm nervous, but I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited to do trail runs in Africa. Of course,
Yeah.
our first part of the journey is in Cape Town, and our friend, she's from South Africa. She's like, be very careful in Cape Town. It is not. You don't just go out for a run and not get mugged. So you got to be very
Okay.
careful. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait till I get to Zimbabwe, but then I'm going running on some safari trails or something.
Oh, fun.
So you're doing,
Um,
that sounds great. Not storm the day, storm the
Storm the
farm.
farm,
Yeah. Hey,
which
would
is
you
the
ever do
neatest.
storm the day? Would you ever do that run? That's in October, I
I
think, or
I
November, right?
would. Yeah, last year it was
Yeah.
parents' weekend for Jasper's college. So,
Okay.
and then this
Yeah.
year we have a wedding.
Okay.
So
All right.
someday I will do storm the day.
All right. All right. So
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
and then my big race is in October. I originally was going to do the Voyager 50 in
Mm-hmm.
July. But with my injuries and pneumonia and everything, I won't be trained enough for it. I know
Okay.
myself. And so I was like, well, I have to do something. And so I'm going to do the Wild Duluth races and I'm going to do the Wild Woman Challenge. So for that one, you do the 50K on a Saturday and a half marathon on a Sunday.
Get out.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God. You're going to
And you get a
do,
hatchet when you do it.
you get a real
That's
hatchet?
the prize.
Oh
I was like,
God.
okay.
Eric is doing the 50K.
Okay.
Mario, I'll be up there with you because
Oh,
Mario
fun.
and I are going up to Cruum. So I
Oh,
already put
cool.
it on. My wife and I have a shared calendar. I already put it on the calendar, honey, if you're listening. I'm going up there too bad. So we're going to be there up Saturday. So I'll probably see you up there. But that's
Yeah.
crazy. You're doing the 50K and then a marathon the next day.
Half marathon.
Half marathon. But still,
Yeah.
43 miles, 44 miles. Oh my God.
Yeah. My running coach that I have, she's like, this will just be a good way for us to really see how your body handles
Yeah.
that amount. So I can do the 50 next year. Because my plan
Okay.
is to like progressively do more to see how far my body will let me
Yeah.
do. I keep
Yeah.
saying I'm going to keep doing this until my body tells me to stop. And so, we'll just keep going.
That's my question. One of the questions I wrote down is what's the end goal here, Heather? What is your dream? What distance is the one where you're like, is it 100 miles, 100 kilometers? Is it 24 hours? Is sky's the limit? Cocodona 250?
No.
You know?
I, I don't know I don't know if 100 miler is it. It's not
Yeah.
out of the question. What I'm actually kind of looking at and leaning towards is the stage races like that Aaron Shaw.
Yeah.
So there's a few in the Ozarks, and my sister-in-law who did the 100, she was saying like it'd be fun to do that because like our families could come and it'd be like the
Yeah.
same families, and
Yeah.
we could, and they could support us throughout. Because one of the things is I think I do better if I have like a break in between. Like
Yeah.
even when I'm running long distances, if I can just stop for a while, I feel good. Like,
Yeah.
okay, now I can go another 10 miles. But the 100 miles straight with no sleep, that's tough. Would it be cool to do it? And whatever. Super cool. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Next year I want to attempt a 50 and then we'll see what happens.
50 mile.
50 mile. Yeah.
Because Voyager is a 50 miler.
Yes.
Right. No. Okay. Well, you're going to be doing 43, 44 miles in 2 days. That's, in my book, that's basically it. And if you look at the time from when you start that 50K to when you have to finish the other one, it's probably over 24 hours, but still, there's a time limit there that you have to get it all done in. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. The more I do this, it's like I just don't think my body will allow me to get done with 100 miles in most of the time limits that most of these races have. I would probably do better on one that's more climbing than running. Obviously, my joints just can't. For me, it's my knees, my kneecaps. They just explode after a while, and
Yeah.
and so that pounding of the running and the downhills is not great. Climbing and I can do that all day long. That's really cool. Stage races. I love it. Is it the Silamo one that you're looking at, or is it a different one down in the Ozarks?
It's called chicken something, chicken. I
Okay.
don't know, chicken run or I something like that.
Chicken Red. I like it. That's great.
Yeah, and then
Awesome.
there's another one that is Goats is like the name of the running group that puts
Okay.
it on. But you know what though? I also am eyeing races up in northern Michigan. Um, they look amazing. Like a 50 or 100K up there. The
Up in the UP?
courses look, I don't know if they're on the UP.
Okay.
There's like the Porky's one that is in Ironwood, Michigan.
Okay. Huh. I've
Um,
never really explored any of those races.
yeah.
All
So
right.
there's just some of those up there seem really, really challenging and
Okay.
looks
Good.
beautiful. So
Awesome. As these things go, we're at an hour and a half
I know.
already, so they just fly by. I just love getting to know you. This is so great. I do have a few things I want to cover,
Yeah.
and this was talked about a little bit when we did resolution night. You are a sponsored athlete by Terra Loco. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Did that happen last year? What does that all entail? And yeah, what is that?
So Tiffany started that last year and she put a call out. She like put a call out and then invited people to do that. And so what our role is to really be ambassadors for Terra Loco and for running in general.
Okay.
So logistics wise, like at races, I always wear my Terra Loco gear, share stuff on social media. Like you're really
Okay.
like I'm, like Solomon sponsors Courtney DeWalter. I am
Yeah.
sponsored by Terra Loco.
Duh.
And
Professional
we
trail
get
runner.
right. We get perks because of that,
Yeah.
which is nice. And we get to
That's great.
like last year I got to try out a new pair of shoes and I did like a review on it and then I got to keep them and so some of the stuff like that, but I love it because even before this, like I constantly talked about Terra Loco and how great it is. And from talking with Tiffany,
Yeah.
like she made a community. It's not just a running store.
Oh yeah.
And she supports the community and the team there is so great. So I am more than happy to be in head to toe Terra Loco when I go places. And it's interesting. Like each of us kind of had a different focus. And so I was like the trail running girl. And so I could talk about that to people and show up at trail running events and stuff like that.
Yeah. Love it. I'm going to get into my closing section here. A couple of things. Fly free run. I've seen
Yeah.
that on some of your Instagram posts. What is fly free run, Heather?
So that is my coach, Tammy
Oh,
Clemens. And she is in between Big Lake and Two Harbors. She has places in both areas. They're safe from the fires that are happening there
oh,
now.
yeah, that's devastating. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I really, as I was looking at this year, I was like, I think I need a coach. I like someone to really keep me accountable. And I had seen she battles chronic illness. So she's actually she's going for the Superior 100 this year. She attempted it before and got like 78 miles. So she's a huge trail runner and she really focuses, kind of has a special expertise on working with people that have a chronic illness, but that are endurance athletes. So it's a really neat marriage to have her be my coach and understand my body and really having the training support that. So it's been really great with her. She keeps me on my toes. One day I didn't do a progression run. I just did a run and she was like, Heather, that wasn't a progression run.
Don't
I
make me
was
come
like,
down there. Oh,
So that was
love it.
funny. But she's really great. So yeah.
Awesome. You posted something on Instagram that really moved me, and it's a poem by Donna Markova. I'm going to read it. It's called I Will Not Die an Unlived Life because I'm kind of getting into poetry lately. I'm going to read this, but then I want you to talk about what it means to you
Mhm.
and why I posted it. I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, it's getting me choked up, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as seed goes to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as fruit. I love
Mhm.
that. I want you to
Thanks.
tell me where you found that and why you posted that and what it means to you.
Sure. I'm on the worship associate team for the church that I go to, First Unitarian Universalist here in Rochester, and every month there's a theme, and the theme this our worship associate group was working with was Flourishing, and that was one of the poems that was in there, and I read it as the opening for the reflection session that we were having,
Yeah.
and it's similar to my favorite poem from Mary Oliver, Summer Day, where she says, "What are you going to do with this one wild and precious life?" And I think for me, when I was younger, I wouldn't say that I would do any would do everything I wanted to do. I was very confined by what other people thought I should do. And as I've gotten older and experienced life and saw, when I was sick and I was told, Heather, you're never going to run again. You're done. And it really made me think about, what do I want my life to be?
Yeah.
I need to start making some of my own rules, and I want to show myself and show Jasper that life is what you make it. And
Yeah.
yes, there's systemic issues that can get in the way. I'm not a Pollyanna in that sense, but if we
Yeah.
work within that, there's so much we can do. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It doesn't have to be like changing the world. Um, but man, maybe it's something that like my friend, like Lucy, who yelled at me in the 50K. Like, she did that, and I will remember that for the rest of my life. And I want to be an example to show really my son and the people around me, like, just try things. Just try
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. I think that's a song that I just said. um,
Yeah.
and I just really think that poem is a good reminder for everyone to think about your life and also the legacy. Like when they say the seed to the blossom and the blossom to the fruit, like how is what you're doing affecting the next person and the next person, that whole 7 generations theory.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
it just really, really hit me. And I think it's a reminder I'll probably go back to.
Yeah. I love it. That's kind of what I've thought when I read it. I thought, here's somebody dealing with all this stuff, and this is just something that says, basically seize the day. We've got one life. We've got one
Mm-hmm.
quick little life. Suck everything you can out of it and do what you can and be a great example and make it better. Make it better than you left it. So
Yeah.
love that. Love that. I will have a link to that. I'm going to have a link to a lot of this stuff, to your coach, to some of these
Oh, yeah.
races, to your Instagram page, all this stuff. You've got dogs. I saw dogs in your pictures. Tell me about your dogs.
Did you hear them just now?
And I subscribe. Your one dog has his own freaking Instagram page.
Oh my
Is that
gosh.
Gigi? Gigi has the chaos
Yeah.
dog or something like that. I subscribed to it today.
Yeah. Gigi the Chaos Queen. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
She is too much. She Oh, I don't even know where to start with that girl. But we adopted her 9 months. She's a rescue mutt.
Yeah.
She was a puppy. So I was like, oh, she's just a puppy. She has energy. And then we did the breed test and we're like, oh, she has cattle dog and boxer and all this in her. And we were like, what are we going to do with this dog? We would never get a dog with those. Like, so it's been hard, but she is very sweet. And she does very chaotic things. If you saw one of the videos of her like jumping off the stairs, that's like
I
a
did see
normal.
that. Oh my God. And the other, what's the other dog's name? The black dog that you have?
Suki.
Suki. How old is Suki? Because Suki is there like watching the other dog going, what is wrong with you? Slow down.
I know.
Oh.
Suki is, he'll be 6 this summer. He was our COVID puppy.
Yeah. We have 2 dogs. We don't, I love dogs.
I do too.
Does Jasper, your husband, run, or is it just you? You're the only crazy one in the family doing this stuff.
Yeah. They. I say this with love. I'm like, they're more of a sitter. They do that, but they do like hiking, and Derek wants to start hiking with me, and so, and we just got electric bikes. So we've been going bike riding.
Nice.
So I mean, they like to hike, but they're like, we would never. And actually, Whitewater, this last one, Storm the Park, was the first race that Derek had been to since that Afton won.
Wow.
So it's been a very
wow.
It's my thing, which is I was fine with.
Yeah.
But he was like, wow, that was so cool to see. Like, what it's like in those trail races, and like seeing you come by a couple times. And so that was kind of fun to share that with him.
Fun. My wife, she doesn't come to a lot of stuff, and it's fine. It's like, I ride motorcycles. She doesn't ride on that. It's kind of my thing. Trail races are kind of my thing, but she went with me last year to Mammoth Trail Fest out in California, where I got cut off because I was too slow at the top of the mountain by 12 minutes. She's coming with, she's gonna do one of the races. Don't tell anybody. She signed up for the 26K, and she's been working her butt off, like on her treadmill. She's been climbing like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 feet every day. So I'm like,
wow.
She's going to kick my butt. I already said, I'll run with you on the 26K. I'm like, I usually come in last. And she's like, yeah, I'm not coming in last. I'm like, okay, yeah. So I'll just wait for me at the finish then, honey. Love you. Okay, down to the last few questions. Do you have a dream race that you want to do? Is there, and maybe you've talked about it, or maybe it can be anything. It doesn't have to be something, just assume you're trained for it. Assume you've got the money to travel, the time to travel. Is it UTMB? Is it Sagama? Is it a Trans Rockies, Trans Alpine? What's your dream race, Heather?
I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah.
I think it would be somewhere in like Norway or Denmark land, like somewhere different,
Yeah.
Just a different place, different culture, different everything.
How about Scotland?
Yeah, Scotland would be great.
Erin's over there right now posting all these stupid pictures of her amazing runs over in Scotland. Good God.
I know.
Other hobbies that are not running? You mentioned gardening. What's a hobby you love to do that is not trail running?
Yes, gardening, perennial gardens, not vegetables. I can't do that.
Okay.
I'm like a perennial. I just keep adding. I keep renting sod cutters and like adding gardens. And my husband's like, are we going to have any yard left? I'm like, no,
you don't need
just enough for the dogs. I really like to crochet. So I make like the little amigurumi or whatever, like the little characters, I guess.
Okay.
I have a pickle that I made.
Oh, gosh.
It's a little pickle.
Oh, my gosh. I love that. You made that. Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
So I make like cryptids, like jackalopes and yetis and all the fun little things.
Fun.
I like doing that.
Got it. Before we get to my last question, my wife and I, and this is like the third time or fourth time watching it. Our favorite show is Schitt's Creek, and I've seen
Yes.
from some of your posts you're a fan, right?
Yeah.
Am I okay? What is your favorite Moira quote? My wife and I were talking about this today. I'm like, I'm gonna ask Heather if she's got a favorite Moira quote, or what's your favorite character, or what's your favorite thing about Schitt's Creek?
Oh my gosh! I watched it when it came out with my late best friend. Like we watched it, and then we watched it again. So that when she was at home, she had cancer, and so I would go over, and if we just wanted to like be together and not talk because she was too tired, we would watch Schitt's Creek. So that was kind of the second time through, and then Jasper watched it. So I'm watching it all this, and as I'm watching it, I'm realizing how much Alexis is the true heart of that show. And it's not evident on, at least not to me, on the first viewing. I didn't like get it. And as I watch it, I'm like, she just brings it all together. And I just thought that was really cool. And I think the love story between Patrick and David is one of the best love stories on TV. And I can't, every time I see anything with them, I almost start crying.
I was like, how did they do that? They went from being the funniest show to these touching moments. When he's singing the guitar, when they do the karaoke, they do the open mic night.
Yeah.
And he starts singing, and David's in back, and David's like, oh my God, he's going to embarrass me. And he starts doing the Tina Turner song that
Simply the Best.
Oh, I was crying. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. Love that show. Okay. And my wife does a really good Moira imitation. She's really good at it. I'm not that great at it. Okay, we are at the pinnacle of my podcast. I don't know if you listened all the way through. I like to end these with my friend Graham from Ireland gave me this. Your 5 favorite pieces of gear, Heather, when you go for a run or a trail run. What are they? 5. Number 1.
Let's see. Number 1 would be my race pack, my vest.
Any particular brand that you use, or just are you partial to a few different brands, or what?
I started wearing Nathan, and then I now use Solomon.
Okay.
I had an Advanced Skin. I hate that name. Well, the Advanced Skin. Doesn't that just, it's weird.
Yeah.
And
weird.
Now I have the Active Skin.
Okay.
And they're both fine. The other one is too big now, so I gave it to Jason. And so I have the one I have now, my green one. I really like it. Actually, I was at a concert, like a coffee shop little concert, and this woman was talking about a power object, and she was saying when she has her guitar, she feels powerful. It's her power object. And that's how I feel when I put my vest on. I feel like a different person.
Wow.
It's like
it's your cape. It's your superhero cape. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Vest. No.
Vest.
Okay.
My poles, my Lucky poles. Lecky, not Lucky. Lecky.
And I just bought my wife a pair of poles so she can use them when we go to Mammoth, of Lecky poles. I swear by them as well. Are they, and I don't know all the models, but are they the aluminum or the carbon fiber ones? Do you know? I think I have the aluminum ones, and I think I got my wife the carbon fiber ones.
Yeah. I don't have the super fancy ones that are like the hot pink with the glove. I have brand. I don't know.
Yeah. Lecky poles. Okay.
Lecky poles. My Topos Mountain Racer. They are my favorite shoe.
Which version of the Mountain Racer do you have? Is it the 3s?
I have 4. Is 4 the most
Those
recent
are the
one?
ones that came out last year, the 4s, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I've not tried those. I had the 2s. And the sole came off. I glued it back on, and they still work, but I'm afraid to use them. I had the 3s, and the heel cup wore out, and I got a huge blister, so I tossed them. So I switched to the Topo Ultra Ventures, and I love them. So
Yeah.
Topos, love them.
Those are
cool.
nice.
Yep.
Fourth, this is so not cool trail runner, but my running shorts are from Old Navy, and they're just like the
Love it.
compression shorts, and I don't even care. They're like $15, and they work like $80 shorts. So I love them.
Great. Love it.
Even though it's fast fashion, and is it ethical? Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing that I've loved since I've used it, and I have given one of these to so many people, are the Junk headbands. The Junk brand, these headbands that are like all different. You can get any sort of pattern imaginable. You could get them at Terra Loco. But I usually have them on in pictures. I have like a Minnesota flag one. I have tie-dye one, like all different. But they absorb so much sweat. It is
really
unreal.
And the brand name is
summer.
Junk? That's the
Junk,
brand name?
Junk.
Okay. I'm going to find these, and I'm going to have a link in the show notes, folks, because I've not heard of those.
I literally
I
take it
off.
off.
So I could, yeah.
I take it off, and it's heavy. I'm like, how is there this much? And I've given them to people. I'm like, you don't understand how good this is. And then they use it, and they're like, now I understand. And I'm like, wow. I know. So
love it. There's your 5. Yeah. Hey, you mentioned earlier, we didn't get into it, the nutrition. You said you don't do a lot of high sugar stuff. How do you fuel for these? If you're not doing like the gels, or what are you using usually for fuel on these long endurance runs?
So the hard thing is during the week, it's hard for me to eat a lot of high sugar things. I can do carbs. During the races, I try to have an electrolyte drink. I use Scratch Labs because they don't taste as sweet. And I have the Cliff Blocks, and I use those. Sometimes a gel. I don't know. Yeah. Skittles were a thing I had. Last year it was a Skittles year. I don't know. And then I eat Fig Newtons are one of my favorites.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's hard. Like I want to try like the maple syrup, the Untapped and Embark, because it's such a dose of sugar, but it's less volume, which is what I need. Like the volume is the issue. Like my stomach doesn't empty as fast, so I can't keep putting things in it. It just needs to like go through faster. I don't know. I haven't tried those yet.
Yeah. One thing I'm trying, and I typically do the goo gels, and I mixed in the pretzels and Slim Jims. Okay. I'm trying to do less sugar, so I'm mixing in other carbs and salty stuff. Yeah. So I'm doing Slim Jims and pretzels, and do some gels. I found these gels, Heather, and maybe you've heard of them, the Honey Plus, HNY Plus gels. They're very low volume, and I'll send you a link. They're very low volume. They're basically honey with caffeine. Okay. And it's about half of the volume of a goo gel, but it's the same amount of calories and caffeine. If you do caffeine, they have non-caffeinated as well. Yeah. So I'm kind of mixing those in to see how they do. You know how it is. You don't want to just bombard your system, but I'm trying to mix them in. They are a little pricey, though. That's the thing with all this stuff. It's like it's expensive. So
yeah.
Do what you can. I usually do pretty good on aid station food, so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to fans, mostly because I know David puts out a hell of a good spreads.
I tell people, I'm like, you don't understand for trail running. You like just run to buffet stations.
Yep.
That's what you do. It's great.
Yep. Exactly what you do. This has been awesome. I'll probably get to see you at Wild Duluth, and you are doing Afton, or you are?
Yep.
Okay. Volunteering or running?
Running.
Okay. Haven't decided. I might volunteer. I might see you out there too, but
yeah, that'd be fun.
I'm sure I'll see you at some point.
Definitely.
This has been awesome.
It's been great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Heather. An absolute pleasure to get to know you and chat about your achievements and all you've overcome to get where you are. You say you're just doing your best, but hey, your best is pretty damn good. And if you're volunteering at the last aid station of a race that Heather is at, get her what she needs and give her some love, because that's where it all comes together. Be sure to check the show notes for links for information on Fire, the film on the 50K race that Heather did, her coach at Fly Free Run, and many of the other things we talked about. Well, that's it for this time. Until next one, take care and cheers. And just a reminder that if you like the show, please follow the show. You can leave a rating and review on Apple. You can leave a rating and comment on Spotify and YouTube. Whatever platform you listen on, whatever you can do is much appreciated. It all helps grow the show and helps get me across that finish line. The Miles Provide by Joe Harden. The miles provide not answers, not all at once, but something quieter, something that's been inside you all along, a slow unraveling of the weight you've been carrying all this time, a steady rhythm that begins to sort out what matters the most to you. The miles take their time with you, stripping away the excess, the fluff, the ego, layer by layer, until all that's left is breath, effort, and the brutal honesty of who you are and why you laced up in the first place. And then, almost without asking, the miles begin to give. Clarity in fragments, strength you didn't know you had, a version of yourself more honest than the one who started. Somewhere out there between leaving and returning, you realize it never was about chasing. It was something that was inside you all along. The miles become catharsis. The miles become restorative. The miles become home.